Hi, I'm Lucia Hoffman, and this is my exhibition group. We have decided to take action and raise awareness about abandoning animals. We have noticed that animals are abandoned at the end of the ski season. Thank you for having us on this interview.
This is Lisa. I am a shelter tech here at the Summit County Animal Shelter. We are lucky enough to have 5 fifth graders here from Dillon Valley Elementary School. They've chosen us as the subject for a school project. So they are here and I'm going to show them around and give them a quick tour of our shelter. So these are our dog kennels. As you can see, all their needs are being met. So it's really important that we get to know these animals as much as we can before we place them into a home so we know it's a right fit. So we call this room the animal kitchen. Let's see, I want you guys to help me. Look around and see what's in this room. What do we stash in this room to prove that we have all of our cat and dog's needs being met while they're here? Toys, very important. They need exercise. Treats, that helps with training. Food, cleaned every day. Fresh bowls for their food and their water, all very important. In case of a big emergency, whether it's in our county or a neighboring county in Colorado, let's say a wildfire or something of that nature, and a lot of people's animals have to be evacuated from their homes all at one big swoop, we can jump in and help. So we're all trained to help that. There's also a volunteer team of people in the community that come in and help with that as well. So this is our vet clinic. We're very fortunate to have this right on premises. We spay and neuter every dog and cat that comes through here. And you guys know what I mean by spaying and neutering?
And take away their ability to have puppies.
Exactly. No more puppies and kittens. We already have so many dogs and cats looking for homes, so we try to do our part to help that overpopulation problem. Police officer can come in here after hours and bring in the dogs. So sometimes I get here in the morning and there's a new dog staring at me right here. Do you guys know what this is?
Oh, a chip reader.
Exactly. They're going to scan each dog or cat for a chip. Microchipping is awesome. We've reunited so many animals with their people because of microchipping. Similar to that table I just showed you where the police officers bring dogs in after hours, sometimes people from the public, like you guys, will find a dog or a cat running loose. And if you guys can't hang on to them until we open, we can always bring them here. So tell your friends about this. It's a really good thing to do. We have these kennels set up. And so if you do find a dog or a cat running loose, you can at least get them off the streets so they're not going to get hit by a car or eaten by another animal or just out in the cold. So you can get them off here to keep them safe. So as you can see, we've got a lot of outdoor space for these dogs. So if they're not getting walked by volunteers, for the most part, they're at least outside in these outdoor pens. So this is our cat social room. Cats that get along with other cats, as you can see. And basically anyone can walk into this room that wants to pet an animal. We send them into the rainbow room because all these guys are really friendly. They love attention, and this room is just wonderful. It's very light and bright and great for our cats. We have an amazing volunteer program. If you guys are ever interested, get with your parents, do the class, and then you can come and you can hang out with our animals and you can walk the dogs.
This is Donna from the animal shelter. How many animals do you have in the animal shelter?
Right now we have, great question, and I wrote it down, we have 24 cats, which includes 3 kittens that were born 4 days ago. We have 19 dogs, and that includes 7 puppies that are about 6 weeks old.
Are some animals injured?
There's no injured animals at this time. We sometimes do get injured animals, but none at this time.
Hi, my name is Sage Hanks, and what do people need to do in order to adopt animals from your shelter?
So to adopt from our shelter, the best thing to do is first come down to the animal shelter, meet the dog or cat in person, and then they would fill out an application. We're not a same-day adoption center, so people will fill out an application, and there's a property ownership form that needs to be signed by either themselves if they own their place or if they're renting by the owner. And then we try to do the adoption the next day after they've filled out the application and we have reviewed it.
How much does it cost?
It's $110 to adopt a dog, $125 for a puppy. It's $90 for an adult cat, and kittens are $105. And everybody's been spayed, neutered, vaccinated, microchipped, and they're good to go.
And how does the shelter make sure the home is safe for the animals?
And that is a great question, because we just had a dog that was brought back that ended up not being a safe home. And that happens very rarely. But what we do is with our application process, we'll review the person's name, see if they're in the database. They give us a reference. Sometimes we'll call the reference. They usually give us who their vet is, and so we'll call the vet, make sure their previous pets that they've owned were current on vaccinations. And we talk with the people, we get to know them a little bit, but sometimes you just don't know. It doesn't happen that often, and our hearts break when we find out that that wasn't the right home. But we're glad that they're back. You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Yarati Casillas. And are you a kill shelter?
We do not call ourselves, we don't embrace the term kill or no kill. We are an open admission shelter. So what that means is we will take in everything. As far as dogs, cats from our community, whether they're young, old, sick, it doesn't matter, we'll take them in. Where a lot of shelters that have to euthanize, or let me back up, the ones that are no kills, they can say we can't take that in. They're not an open admission, so they don't take in everything. So we are an open admission shelter.
Why have you chosen to be a non-kill shelter?
And again, we don't call ourselves non-kill because we do, and it's okay, we do euthanize animals if they're really sick or if their behavior is really, really not safe for the community. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And our percentage of euthanasia last year was only 3%. So we're, in actuality, in statistics, they would call us a no-kill shelter, but we don't call ourselves that because we do have to euthanize at times.
As an expert in your field, what is your opinion about kill shelters?
The kill shelters, what happens with them, and we deal with kill shelters because we will help kill shelters when we've got the space. We will, they'll send us a list of all the animals that they have available that are on that are supposed to get euthanized. And so we are helping out these kill shelters by bringing them to our shelter. We transfer them in. And how do I feel about that? I feel like they're in a tough position because they're getting 30, 40 animals in a day. So they're having to euthanize an animal for space. Sometimes it's health reasons and sometimes it's behavior. And it really starts with the community.
Hi, my name is Maya Rickman. What can young people in the community do to help the animal shelter?
Great question. So volunteering is one thing that the young people can do. We have a lot of people that come in here in the rainbow room and play with the cats or they walk dogs. Once you're 14, you can come on your own. If you're under 14, you need to be accompanied by mom or dad. So definitely volunteering. That you all saw the cages or the kennels that they're in. And most of the time they're not in their kennels, but some of these guys are really scared and shy, so they're maybe not in a play group, the dogs right away, or the cats are so terrified that they're not coming out of their kennel. So our volunteers, the young people, will come and they'll talk to them, those shy ones, or get them out of their kennel and brush them and play with them. We've got young little kids, and I'm just going to promote this. We've got this summer the Shy Shelter Animal Summer Reading Program where little kids are actually reading to our shy animals. So that's another way that young kids can help us.
Hi, I'm Lucia Hoffman. What kinds of animals do you get more at the shelter, large or small?
We get small. So we get the domestic animals. We get dogs, a lot of dogs and cats. And in this first quarter, we actually had gotten 52 stray animals. I want to say stray, I think they were stray, 52 strays, which means we didn't know who their owner was at first. 38 of those animals did get claimed by their owner, and then we had to adopt out the rest. In the last month, we had over 8 dogs that were surrendered. So we deal a lot with dogs and cats. Sometimes we will get ferrets or gerbils or hamsters.
What kinds of tools do you use to catch the stray animals?
Great. We sometimes just use treats. Animal control will use treats, and that sometimes just lures the dog in. Sometimes they have to use a leash. They'll do the treat and then leash them. If the dog is really terrified, they might have to use what's called a catch pole, and it's a long pole and it's got a loop on it, and they'll kind of lure it in, but it might be a really scared dog that they keeps running away, but they'll lure him in with a treat and then catch them, and they keep the distance between the dog and themselves for safety with that pole. So it's usually some sort of a leash.
Thank you for letting us interview you today.
I think this will help us know how we can take care and protect our animals.
Thank you for having us on this interview.
Thank you, Summit County Animal Shelter.